Okay, today on the workbench we've got this super giant robot. It was made in Japan in the 1960s, and I thought before I buttoned it up I was going to tell you a little bit about the mechanical sequencer that's using this, because it's different than most of the toys that use the rotating ramp. So we'll start with what would be the most common version that I've talked about on the channel many times before. We've even designed and 3D printed different versions of it. You can see, we bring this in, see how this can move up and down. See that ramp on that gear? These two gears have a different number of teeth. Actually, there's a 1 tooth difference between them. So even though they're both driven by that long gear there, they're going to, because there's a different number of teeth, that ramp is eventually going to work its way around to where the slot in that upper one, you get it maybe where you can sort of kind of see the slot, where it runs out of slot, and then as it gets more and more, this will gently lift up and up, and when it goes up, that's changing the position of this gear, which is spring loaded. When this gear is down, the robot's in the walking position. It's connected to the gears that do the walking, and when it's up, it connects with the gears that do the body turning. So not only does this rotating ramp control a sequence of shifting gears, it also, in the same small package, is reducing the speed and increasing the torque, because it's being driven by that smaller gear there. So it's a very simple version of this, but in the supergiant robot, it's very different. Much more complicated. In fact, it's crazy complicated compared to that. A lot of this isn't going to be able to show very well, but basically off this motor, small gear goes to a large gear, then off that gear drives another gear which goes up, then up in here it's going to bounce back and forth between two gears, and it keeps getting reduced in speed, but also off that gear, off the motor, it comes over and drives this gear. So this upper shaft is being driven by the one where it's being reduced to a super slow speed, and that upper shaft goes all the way down, passes through this one, and goes to a cam, which is back in there, and it's rotating that cam slowly, whereas this gear is still spinning rather quickly, and it drives this gear in the back. Now that cam is going to move this lever, and you can see there's actually two levers there, one stacked above each other, and this one has a spring return pulled to the front, and this rear one has a spring return pulled towards the back. Basically, this back one wants to apply pressure to the bottom side of that gear back there. Now I'm going to move these guns forward enough to where I can grab the shaft, and I'm going to lift this up. You see when that large gear goes up, that base part of it, that's smaller, that's actually a ramp. So what's trying to occur is that small lever on the bottom, which is being pulled back, wants to apply pressure under that ramp, and if it was allowed to, the gear would crawl up that lever and go up in the air, and when it goes up in the air, that's your shifting of the little gear, which right now it's in the down position, so it's driving the legs. When it's in the up position, it does the rotating of the body. Now what's stopping that lower lever from applying pressure to that is it's pushing against this upper lever, which has a spring pulling it to the front, and that cam. And when the cam comes around, it brings this side of the lever forward, which means it pushes the back side of the lever back, and when the back side of the lever goes back, that allows the little lever to apply pressure to that gear, and as it's spinning, goes up and down. So much more complicated, uses a whole lot more space, and I'm sure they had a reason for doing it that way. But let's see if we can get some sort of action out of this this guy here. As you can see, it has a lot more rotations because it isn't going to stop rotating until that slow moving cam that's pushing on that top lever goes back to the neutral zone. And I think that was pretty much what I wanted to talk about, was the differences between the mechanical sequencers that are most commonly used, like this, any toy that has two functions like stop walk or stop rotate or anything like that, versus what was used in the earlier versions of the Supergiant robot.